Hi, guys. A very warm welcome to this podcast which we're starting. And we are going to learn today something which has been the talk of the town. Always, anybody who starts in digital marketing is actually asking us this question. He's just always after this question and he says, how to get started in digital marketing. This is your host, Gaurav Madaan, and you're listening right from Digital Marketing VIP's podcast. This is episode 1, and let's get started. So, hey guys, my name is Gaurav Madaan, and I am the founder of GauravMadaan.com and this host, Digital Marketing VIP's podcast. In this particular episode 1, we are going to talk about how to get started in digital marketing. Now, this has been a question which has been asked to me many times. Like all the people who are starting out, they would normally come to me and say, "Hey Gaurav, should we do really to get started in digital marketing? Should we actually go ahead and make a website, make a blog, do SEO, drive traffic? So what exactly should one do when one is actually starting out, and how do we go ahead about learning digital marketing?" And same story, they would ask me that, Gaurav, how did you start it? Right. So today I'm here to actually address this particular question so that it could help you if you're listening and you are a beginner, or you're lost or overwhelmed because of there's too much information present on the internet. Then this podcast is for you, and this episode is going to really bring value to you. So without any further ado, let's talk about it. So digital marketing is actually it comprises of two different things. It is digital and it is marketing. So digital gives us the tools to do marketing. So in short, without knowing marketing, you cannot really go ahead and become a digital marketing expert. I've seen a lot of people, going wrong, and they start learning tools. They go to various institutes. Let's say they go to an institute, offline institute, or they buy some courses. But the problem there is that nobody teaches you about marketing. So marketing is more driven towards how to communicate your message effectively to to the person who you are trying to communicate with. It could be your prospect, could be a buyer, could be anybody, a client, for that matter, right? So first thing which you need to do is you need to understand a bit of marketing. Marketing majorly comprises of understanding the customer, the product, and how you can actually pitch your product to your customer in a unique manner, which convinces him or persuades him to buy your product or service. So that's really the crux of entire marketing. So we how do we define it in this particular world is we say that you have to know about copywriting. Okay, copywriting combined with certain bit of psychology and research leads to effective crafting of messaging. Whatever you want to draft as a message or craft as a message or communicate to your customer or to your prospect, you'll be easily able to know that, and you'll be able to craft your headlines, your subject lines, your descriptions, your bullet points, your videos, your pages, your website, everything really depends on psychology. So if you are starting up and you're new, so what I'll do is I'll put certain things as resources in this particular episode. Below, I would put a copywriting PDF which you can download and you can read through, you can understand. And there is another thing which you really need to do is you need to understand the before and after grid. So before and after grid is extremely important thing when it comes to online marketing and or any form of marketing for that matter. And before and after grid is nothing but it's a viewpoint of your customer, like before having your product and after having your product. We tend to ask multiple questions and try to fill in a grid. Like you take a simple spreadsheet divided into two columns. On one side you're talking about the before state, on the right side you're talking about the after state. So you say what do they currently have as a solution, if not your product, and then on the right hand side, now they have your product, right? So then we talk about how do they feel. That's the second question. So let's say they're using a competitor product or they don't have a solution. So how are they feeling about it? Okay, and after having your solution, how would they feel about it? Then there is another question which we normally ask: how do they, actually spend their average day? So what exactly, they're doing in their average day? So, and what exactly they would be doing after taking your solution in their average day? That's another question we ask. And then we say that exactly what are the people they follow? What do they read? Okay, so what we're trying to do here is we're trying to understand our customer better and better so that we could craft our effective messaging strategy, and the same would be used, throughout internet. For example, what you take out from here is uh, you put in what you take out from here is what you put in your ads, you put in your blogs, for that matter, you put in your website, effective messaging, you put in your Facebook posts, Twitter tweets, Instagram posts, live videos, YouTube videos. So the entire strategy revolves around understanding, or having the basic understanding of what your customer really wants, and how is your solution, or how is your client's solution, for that matter, or how is that affiliate product as a solution is going to bring a change in the life of these particular people, right? Your customers, basically. So that's the first thing you need to really understand when it comes to understanding digital marketing. Okay, so once you've really understood a part of it, copywriting, then the second step comes into picture, and second step, is really about understanding more towards what is a funnel. So actually, what happens is, funnels are really really popular, and you should definitely learn more about funnels. So funnels, and when we talk about funnels, so funnels are mostly a series or sequence of steps which customer would take. Like for example, if we go out in a normal store, or let's say we go out in a Chroma store. So we go there, we actually see the things. Then a salesperson would approach us. Then he would explain us the benefits and the features, and take us through the journey. Then there would be a negotiation part and whatnot. So there is a complete series of steps before I actually go and buy a particular thing from an offline store, right? And at multiple instances, they would use effective techniques to actually persuade me to buy. Okay, sometimes they'll use scarcity to upsell me. Sometimes they'll use something else to actually push me to buy the particular thing which I'm there to buy. So this is another thing, which is funnels. In online world, funnels are majorly described as series of steps. Then they, you could say you start with using a pre-selling page, where you actually pre-sell your audience the idea of your product, or the ideology behind your product rather. And then comes the sales page, there you sell your product exactly. Then come the upsells and the downsells, where you try to get more profit from the same customer by actually pitching him instant upsells. So this really is, the part where you really need to learn about funnels. Okay, so there are a lot of funnel builders, platforms which you can be using for your own sake. Like there's Pay Kickstart, there is Thrivecart, then there is a lot of cart platforms. Then the Invento has one, which is, I guess, by the name uh, Cartfog. Then there are a lot of other different cart platforms. There are big companies as well which have cart platforms, and there are mid companies as well, card card platforms. So that's what is there. So you should definitely check them out. And if you're looking for build your own funnels, that would be amazing. So there are different kinds of funnels. Like there could be a webinar funnel where people are coming to the webinar, first being educated and then being pitched. Or they could be a mini class funnel where a person goes through a series of mini classes or a mini email course, and then the person is pitched into buying. Or they could be a sequence of pre-sale sites, and then the buying starts, and then the upsell starts and everything. So there is always going to be some sequences, some series of steps that is going to happen before the buying actually starts, and that's what really is called funnel. Okay, so do make sure you know about funnel. So I'll drop a link of one of my own courses, which is Funnel Mastery. If you are really interested about what really funnels are and you want to learn more deep about it, I talk about how you can execute the funnels in India, outside, any country whatsoever country you may be in. So that's something I'll drop a link. You can check that out. So that's how you get started, to be honest. And once you have crafted, or once you've gained these basic knowledge skills, so another a few things which will be really handy, it would be to understand how to edit an image or how to edit a video. These are a couple of two more skill sets which would be really really effective in doing anything, any kind of marketing you're doing. So editing a video and editing a image should really help you. You could use basic tools like Canva.com is free for image editing, and then you could use Camtasia for that matter. Okay, so these are the couple of things which you need to understand before getting started in marketing. And then probably you could, if you don't have a client to experiment it on, what you could do is you could go and book a domain from GoDaddy, and you could get started with any kind of free hosting. There are a lot of free hostings available on internet. So you could choose one, and then what you could do is you could get started by making your own website on your own blog, and then you could think of selling products or services of any kind. If you don't have your own product or service, of course, you could always lean back and look for other people's products. For example, I do have a lot of products, and feel free to sell my products if you want to. So reach out to me and let me know. So that's what really how to get started in digital marketing. Okay, in digital marketing, once you've gained the experience of this and you've started your website, the next thing which will come is traffic. Okay, and traffic is something which you need to drive. There could be free traffic, paid traffic. A lot of things could be there, depending on which one you like more or how much time you have potentially would really describe the nature of the traffic you are going to attract. Like if you have a lot of money but less time, then you go for paid traffic. If you have a lot of time but less money, then you go for free traffic, organic traffic, which is SEO and other stuff. So these are the steps to actually go ahead and get started in digital marketing. So definitely, I would advise you that you build your own website to do testing. You could even start with a blog if you want. Okay, that is the most basic step. And if you have your own product and then you want to sell it off, then you could start with a very simple page builder. Page builders are available across the globe. A lot of different page builders are there, to be honest. You could choose one, any free page builder. Even for WordPress, for that matter, there is Elementor, which I am hearing that it's good. So you can use that, and it's free as well, I think so. So a lot of things to talk about, but then that's how you get started. So I'll just mention some of the steps here. To get started, first go ahead and learn the most basic part of psychology and customer needs. Okay, read a little bit about it. How exactly you're going to craft your messaging around. You're going to go and make your before and after grid for your customers. Okay, and then after that, next thing comes is making the funnel. Exactly, how are you going to craft your funnel to actually sell your product or service, or somebody else's product or service, or anything online, right? So that's that way you make your funnel. And then remember one thing. One thing is extremely important to remember is whenever you're doing a funnel or anything online, always make sure you collect their email IDs, you collect people email IDs, because that will give you a second touch point. Somebody who's interested in your content, in your niche, it's really good to have their contact details, mostly email and name, and then you could bulk send them emails at the tip of a click at a later in your marketing career. Anything, you could be giving them anything. You may want your more viewers for your video, for your blog or whatever you're doing, or you may want more customers for another product which you just may have built, or a product which you're about to launch. So you mail to these customers or prospects, and that's how you actually make money. So these are a couple of things which you should definitely keep them in mind. Learn copywriting. That's most important part. More towards copywriting is coming to before after grid and understanding customer needs. Okay, and then it's about learning copywriting and what to write and what not to write in your pages and your Facebook fan posts, in your emails and in your ads and everything. Another book which I would highly recommend if you're into advertisement and want to learn copywriting, direct sales copywriting, is Triggers by Joe Sugarman. All right, so he's a great guy, great book. amazing stories, 30 stories, 30 triggers he mentions. Okay, Joe Sugarman Triggers. Okay, that's the name of the book. You should definitely read. You could get it for around $5 on Amazon Kindle. So that's something which you can really get it and read. So that's how you get started. You don't get started by going to institutes, spending tons of money and learning the basics of the tools. Tools will eventually, when you have a need of traffic, obviously you'll go and learn Facebook tool as a tool, right? So when you have a need to send emails, you'll go and learn your email autoresponder. But before that actually happens, it's extremely important that you care about what is going to be your messaging, and that's where you need to learn about copywriting. Okay, so that's the key takeaway from the session. Other basic skills are also required, but that can be learned as you move forward. So that's all for today's episode. That's the episode number 1 for Digital Marketing VIP's podcast. And it's me, Gaurav, your host, giving you tips. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below and give me feedback on this podcast. I would love to hear your comments about it. And also you could suggest me if you have any other questions. I would love to answer them. You could ask and post your comments below. And if you find value, and if there is a friend of yours or a family member which needs to get started in digital marketing, I would highly suggest that you share this podcast with him. And this episode is definitely going to bring a lot of value to him and help him get started. So that's all from my side. It's me, Gaurav, standing off from the very first episode of Digital Marketing VIP's podcast. I'll catch you in the next episode and we'll talk about the next topic. Thank you so much. Catch you. See you soon.